the 10 years that followed, there were so many horrible rock bottoms. Like I probably totaled 12 vehicles, climbed out of burning vehicles. I died multiple times, overdoses, hospitalizations. If it hadn't been for a power greater than myself, like I truly wouldn't be here. Whenever I get fearful or anxious about things and how life's going, like I am quickly reminded that like I shouldn't be here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 13 of the Off the Clock podcast. I'm your host in Dayton, Gage. I'm a comfort advisor here at 5 Star Home Services. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing my friend, Brian. Brian, introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? It's Brian here for the marketing team.
Brian, we always start this off with something fun. So the question I've been asking everybody, if you had a theme song, so like if you walk into a room, a song starts playing, what would that song be and why?
Okay, so if I had to pick a song, there's a new song on the radio called Ordinary.
Okay.
I can't think of the artist's name. I think it might be Alex Warren.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do music with Jelly Roll recently or something?
He might have.
Yeah.
But I was listening to this song. I drive back and forth to Bellefonte a lot to see my daughter, and I was listening to this song on the radio, and it just hit me. The words, the lyrics, the music, it was just really moving. Check it out. Be sure to check it out.
Yeah. That's, I know he's like a powerful artist. I'm pretty sure he's worked with like Jelly Roll and stuff. So I've heard a lot about that guy.
Yeah. It's one of those songs that it makes your hair stand up. If you really listen to the words.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Those are the good ones, man. Brian, talk about your history. What led you to 5 Star in the marketing department? Like, how did you get here?
So, just to give you in a nutshell, I worked in journalism for most of my life. I got a job at my hometown newspaper at a really young age and started writing for newspapers. Went to Ohio State, graduated with a degree in journalism, went on to bigger newspapers. But during this time, I was also struggling with alcoholism, and my alcoholism, the disease progressed, it escalated, and evolved into drug addiction, which eventually derailed my career. I mean, I had everything. You would think I had everything going for me in terms of worldly success. I'd been on national television. I'd won awards.
What kind of journalism were you doing?
I did a lot of crime journalism, but investigative journalism, feature stories, just about anything you could think of, human interest. And I lost it all. And then what proceeded after the derailing this career was just a whole decade of just complete spiritual darkness I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And what happened is I ended up coming to Xenia to go to treatment. And went to the Christopher House. This was before we had Emerge. And that's when I met Kip Morris. At the time, it was just Pickerington Heating and Cooling. Well, to make a long story short, Kip and I, we've known each other for almost 10 years now. And after I relapsed, I moved to Columbus, and he stayed in touch with me. And he offered me a couple different positions when it was Pickerington Heating and Cooling. And at the time, it didn't interest me as much because I didn't see the bigger vision that I did now. But I'm so grateful for him having stayed in touch with me, for bringing me into this company and becoming a part of this company. It has altered the trajectory of my life in ways that it's still coming to fruition. And I'm just so honored to be here.
So you've been here at a couple different points in the company.
Yeah.
Like when I started here, when it was the Dayton market was just starting. So there was like 4 install teams, a couple service guys. So you were here even before that. So I imagine where we're at today, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Compared to that, it's awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's cool to be a part of that journey, right?
It is, yeah.
It sounds like many people, Kip has probably been kind of a hero. He's been a hero to me too.
Absolutely.
Is there somebody else in your life that you would point to that's like been an inspiration, a hero, a leader for you?
So yeah, this is a tough question. So yeah, I've already mentioned Kip, the founders of Emerge, Chris Adams, Doug Van Dyke.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. Also, and this isn't, I'm not kissing butt here, but truly Christian, our CEO, has been an inspiration. His drive, his enthusiasm, for his passion for serving, for growing this company. He's totally catalyzed the work ethos or the environment, or what's the word I'm looking for? The culture. That's the word I'm looking for. It's totally catalyzed the culture. And it really drives me to want to perform better, to do better. And so not trying to not to kiss up or anything, but these are, if I had to list people, when I had my spiritual awakening in 2020, one of the things that occurred to me was that I had been essentially programmed by society to idolize or to look up to the wrong people for the wrong reasons, celebrity culture, billionaires, wealthy people. None of that stuff really matters when we die. And so, you want to look at, if I want to look and model my life after somebody, it's people that are actually making a difference, that care about people, that are trying to make a positive impact. And that's what I look to do.
Yeah. I think we have almost everybody, I think, here at 5-Star is of that mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why the culture is so good.
Culture's amazing. And
it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, it's truly such an honor to be a part of a team that's the drive.
Yeah, man.
It's making a difference.
Just like you, I'm honored to have someone like Christian leading the team, the innovation, the ideas, the openness to hearing from everybody and doing this collectively is so inspiring. Dude, we're headed in such a crazy good direction with growth. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
You already touched a little bit on some of the hardships. Can you go into a little more detail? Like, is there a specific hardship that was like really the turning point, or was it a collective, over the years? Like, how does that look for you?
So when I lost my job as a reporter, as a full-time, night reporter for the Lima News, I always thought that would be the end. Like that would be, my identity was so wrapped up in this career.
Yeah.
But I was wrong that, the 10 years that followed, there were so many horrible rock bottoms. Like I probably totaled 12 vehicles, climbed out of burning vehicles. I died multiple times, overdoses, hospitalizations. Like I was incarcerated, like in multiple states, like Mississippi, Virginia, Pennsylvania. Like it was such a period of absolute darkness. And if it hadn't been for a power greater than myself, like I truly wouldn't be here. Whenever when I get fearful or anxious about things and how life's going, like I am quickly reminded that like I shouldn't be here, so that obviously there is a God and he has a purpose for my life. And that gives me a sense of peace that I'm in the right place. You know what I mean? All I need to do is just keep showing up every day, doing my best, and trust his plan and seek guidance in every decision that I make. Like take it to the big guy upstairs. Like, is this the right thing? Is this the right move? And life is on this side after that period of darkness is beyond anything I could have imagined. And I'm just so grateful to be here.
Yeah, dude, that's inspiring.
Thank you.
Another thing that I'm seeing from a lot of the people here is like there's the law of change, right? So people only change when the weight of their failure exceeds the fear of change. But that brings something great out of people.
Absolutely. That's really insightful. I like that.
Yeah. So it's like the test to the testimony, right?
Yeah.
And you've been through a lot of that. That's
been through
insane,
a lot,
man. 12 total cars.
It was nuts. At least 12. Yeah. I mean, it was just, my parents were literally waiting for a phone call for years. And, anyone will tell you that knows my story, that it is truly a miracle that I'm here and that I owe my remaining days to make an impact, to make a difference, to help people in the recovery community here, my family, making a living amends to them and to the people that I've harmed, that my life is no longer my own, that I owe it to my Creator to be of service and to show up and be the best version of myself possible.
That's the anchor.
Amen.
That's the anchor, man. So what's next? Like, where do you go from here? What's the hope? What do you want to do with your life moving forward?
So interesting thing. So I had this spiritual awakening in 2020. And since then I've been on this healing journey.
Yeah.
I've been learning disciplines that, because they're
real quick. What is a spiritual awakening? What does that look like?
So
from you?
Basically, up until that point, my life was very selfish, self-centered. It was all about me. What can I get? And at the end of the disease, I had hit such a depth, such a rock bottom that literally, and it became clear to me that I wasn't going to die. That's, I expected to have been dead by then, so I sought I sought God like a drowning man seeks air. Like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And there was just this period during COVID of just these intense, heartfelt prayers, these yearnings of like, I know you have a purpose for my life. I know you're real because you've revealed yourself to me. And God responded. I had a very transformative spiritual awakening that changed my entire perception of the world, my role in it. And it set me on this journey of healing, because I had damaged my liver. I had, all these hospitalizations.
Yeah.
And so been on this healing journey and learning just to live healthier, to honor what I put in my body, to honor the people around me, and to honor the moment.
Yeah. It's insane.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I want to talk about a little bit about that too, off the cuff a little bit, because you're extremely in good shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like I'm on that journey too.
Yeah.
How does that translate into like your physical fitness and all of that nowadays? Like, what are you doing on a daily basis to kind of sharpen that?
So I try to get up super early every morning, and I incorporate, breathing exercises, meditation.
We were just talking about that before.
Yeah. Regulating your nervous system through the breath. And then being a part, my work day, being a part of something bigger than myself, giving back. And then I try to go to the gym, at least 3-4 times a week, resistance training. A couple things that are also other things that are trending, I think that are really good is cold exposure. I'll do like the ice baths.
Yeah.
I try to eat only whole foods, organic foods, from the earth.
Been doing that. That does make a huge difference. If you don't eat organic foods, it sounds like mumbo jumbo, but if you switch to it,
it's a lifestyle, and you will feel, it's night and day. You will feel so much better.
Yeah.
Getting good quality sleep, right? Yep. Stretching, whether it's yoga or just stretching, I think it's important to stretch and to just be at peace. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, seeking guidance.
Yeah. For me, it's like controlling the controllables.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good. I like that. I like that.
Wake up, take control of your day.
Yeah.
Breathing exercises, which is something I'm inspired by. I'm going to start diving into that, but eating clean, going to the gym, those are all things you can control. And if you do those things, they only help.
Absolutely.
So I didn't even get to the point of that question. Like,
no, you're doing great.
Yeah. So where do you want to go from here?
That's a good question, and I got to say, when I had my spiritual awakening, obviously all my priorities changed. So I think the most important thing I realize is that we're not going to take anything with us. All the material stuff, that's nice. We're going to be forgotten in 100 or 200 years. So status or fame, that's not important. What is important is the impact we make on those around us. Being the best father to my 12-year-old daughter, who's like my heart, being the best son to my parents, being the best coworker to this amazing team that God has put me in.
Yeah, man.
And it's just like, they drive me to do better because I am surrounded by talent that I'm like, whoa, like, it drives me to do better. So it's like, I'm just making an impact through Profit on Purpose, making an impact in the recovery community, being an example that life on this side is so much better. We just got to surrender the old self, trust God, clean house, help others is what we say in the rooms.
Yeah. I love that, man. So on that note, like what's one thing you would tell our audience if you could give a, word of advice, an inspirational thought, guidance of any kind, however you see fit, what would you say to our people? Yeah,
that's a good one. How we show who we are being, and how we show up in this world is of the utmost importance. How we treat each other is of the utmost importance. This life is a fleeting moment. Eternity stretches before and after. And so it's like, how can I show up? How can I impact the people around me and show the, unconditional love and be of service? I mean, that's like, for me, that's the most important thing. And I feel like I have this ability of blocking God's power from flowing through my life, is what I would say. And so for me, it's just the daily task of taking up my cross, so to speak, or dying to self and seeking to be of service to others. Because all these things, all these ideas I had about like what life is about and what I wanted were just blown out of the water. The most important thing I'm realizing is being of service and aligning my will with higher will. That is what brings us lasting fulfillment. That's what we're looking for in material things and status. Is we can only get it. It's like there's a saying that we all have this God-sized hole in us, and we try to throw all these things in it, right?
Yep.
But there's only one thing that can fill it. And man, just looking back, I don't regret my addiction and everything that I lost, because it brought me to this moment and made me who I am today, and got my
testimony.
I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed a good smacking upside the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn. I'm the same way. Like, I would never learn the lessons I learned without falling on my face as hard as I did.
As hard as we did, man. And look at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is just another indicator to me. Like, another indicator of why our culture is the way it is.
Yeah.
Because of this kind of stuff that happens, right? It's just a group of people who have all been through failure. They've all experienced hardships. They've all gone through these things, but everyone has their testimony and their story, and we're all pushing to the same goals. Never been a better time to be at 5 Star Home
Never
Services.
been a better time.
Crazy.
That's right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I
So
agree.
to end this thing out, I always like to ask the fun question. What's a hidden talent you have? What's like something people don't know about you?
Yeah.
Just, give me something good.
Well, I think the most obvious is that I enjoy creative writing, like literature, poetry. I feel like I'm a wordsmith. I say the joke that I just make word salads, right?
Okay, word salad.
I feel like that's something I could improve on. With AI now, it's not as good, but I feel like that's something, an ability of mine I could also continue to improve on now here at 5 Star.
What do you think? Why do you think you're so passionate about that?
I just think that was just like something that I gravitated towards at a very young age, something that resonated with me. Unlike other kids that were out playing, like I was in my room reading Shakespeare, memorizing Shakespeare at a young age. And so, yeah, I do think that there is power in words, power in the tongue, and that, we got to be careful what we say, but also that words can be used to uplift people, to empower people. Yep. And, just I look forward to using that for 5 Star and for our purpose, or to continue using it for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painting pictures. That's what we're doing.
Painting pictures with words, right? Yeah.
Always, man. Well, Brian, thanks so much for being on, man.
Thank you, man. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. Guys, this is a wrap. We're on to the next one. We'll see you guys next time.